All right, hi everybody. Welcome to another Prog Report podcast. We're here for our monthly review, our reaction videos, and I think we're gonna try and keep this going. We did one last month. It was myself and Daniel Levy, and we did 4 really cool songs. Hope you got a chance to check that out. Kyle Fagel is joining me for this one. How you doing, man?
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? Well, they
So
can answer, can they?
no, 2024 is off and running, and a lot of great music is already starting to come out. A few albums have come out, some new singles. So, in keeping with the format, I have selected 4 songs that we're going to run through here and just sort of check out and expose the fans and audience to these things. And I don't even know if you've heard these, so
Probably not.
you'll be able to check them out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this going. The first thing that I'm bringing up is a band called North Sea Echoes. If anybody's not familiar, it's actually an offshoot of Fates Warning. It is Ray Alder and Jim Matheos, just the two of them. It is, I believe, on Metal Blade. It is not metal by any means. It's them sort of going more acoustic and ambient and mellow, but it's really cool. This song in particular, I actually only heard for the first time this morning, and I think it's the second single from this album, which is called Really Good, Terrible Things, and the album comes out on February 23rd. I actually think this is a pretty cool song, so let's check this out a little bit. Cool?
Yeah.
And let's... Bam. Here we go.
I'm a moment trapped in time, yet I still have much to prove. Sometimes I read aloud my messages, just a whisper inside an empty room. I'm strange, a feeling that remains is one I cannot lose. I try to find the meaning of it all, try to justify every single bruise.
Anyway, I don't want to play the whole song, but I kind of want to play the whole song.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it feels like it's slowly building towards something pretty interesting.
There's
so.
just a little bit of like a percussive kind of boom that sort of kicks in a little bit later, but it's pretty much like that.
Okay.
But I think that's really a beautiful song. I mean, I think it's really cool.
His voice sounds great. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give him that for sure. I'm admittedly not the biggest Fates Warning guy. For some reason, it's just never really connected with me, and I've tried. And then there was the A through Z that came out last year. I guess it was. Was that just last year? No, 2 years ago, maybe 2022. And
knows
that was
anymore?
cool. Yeah, who knows? Do years even matter?
I think it was late. I think it was late 2022. Didn't you speak with Mark Zonder with me? Didn't we do that?
Yeah, I did.
We
Yeah.
have an interview
So
with Mark Zonder that we did, which you could check out, which was a lot of fun. So I mean, he does a lot of projects. He did his second solo record last year, which was simply Ray Alder 2, which was really good. Really good album. I don't know. They seem like they're not done, both of these guys, with music by any stretch. But it feels like they don't want to be confined to the Fates Warning bubble.
Got it. Is Fates Warning
just-
done? Because I think there's the idea that was their last album, right?
That's the idea, but I don't know. I think
Okay.
with these guys, yeah, I could totally see them not doing it, and I could see them just as well 3 years from now just being like, hey, I wrote 10 new Fates Warning songs. Let's just record them.
Right.
Right. So,
Well, I
you know.
hate to be the snot on the podcast, but I was largely unmoved by this song. I mean, it's good, it's fine. It's sort of like I think it's one I'd listen to once and kind of move on.
I don't know, man. It hit me. I don't
You
know.
dig it.
I kind of thought it
Okay.
was cool. Yeah, I liked it.
I
All
like
right,
the little
let's see what
classical
else.
guitar, little nylon string guitar he's got, but
Yeah, I mean, look, a whole
I
album
need
of that.
drums, Roy. I need drums. I gotta have
A whole album
drums.
of that, maybe not, but that
Yeah.
song I think was really well done. So, all right, next up is a band called Sometime in February, which you may not know about. So this is a trio instrumental prog metal group based around the lead guitarist whose name is Tristan Almond. Um, he started doing some solo stuff and then put this band together with this drummer and bass player, and they have just been signed to Inside Out Music
Oh
and
yeah.
working on a new album. But right now the only thing that's out is this first single to sort of let people know what they're about. It's called Hiding Place. He's a phenomenal
How,
guitar player.
how old are these kids? I mean, I'm looking at
Kids,
I turned
young.
40 this year. Yeah. Are they
Yeah, no, I don't
teenagers?
know their ages, but they look young. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if they're in their teens or 21. I'm not really sure, but yeah,
Ah, good for
younger
them.
side for sure. But yeah, really cool stuff. So we can check some of this out.
This I have heard a little
This
bit
is a
of.
playthrough video of him playing.
Right?
Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was
Cool
reading
stuff. I
he
mean,
filled in for Between the Buried and Me, and
yeah,
he
that's right.
cannot be more than 25. I mean,
Yeah, he looks young for sure.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. How are they going to differentiate themselves from some of these other bands? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he certainly can play, and the song is really good. It's actually pretty memorable off the first listen, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the
And I
drummer's
think
good too.
yeah, the drums to me sound a little like programmed, like that they're MIDI drums. I could be wrong. Sorry to offend anyone if they aren't, but they're technically great. Like I love like what's being played. I would say on the guitar, I like it a lot. It doesn't feel. I guess let me wax philosophic for just a second. I think a lot of like modern instrumental music, for me at least, it interfaces too much with like electronica and even like dubstep at times and music that I don't love. This feels like a little bit more in line with I don't know, like the Eric Johnsons and Joe Satriani's of
I
the
know what you're
past,
talking about. Like, yeah,
but
or
it's
like
got the modern kind of technical like sweep picking type stuff, you know?
it has a little bit of a like the older Scale the Summit records,
Yeah.
which I really liked a lot, which were guitar shred but really musical.
Yeah, real
And
melodic.
whereas a lot of the newer stuff right now, even in the more direction that Animals as Leaders is going in and stuff like that, it's almost like it's so ridiculously played I mean, impressively that you can't make out a song. For me,
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I think they're trying to look at it in a sort of a postmodern way. It's almost like if you go to like a fine restaurant and it's all great, it's like amazing, it's impressive, but you're just like, I don't really enjoy any of this. Um,
right? Can I just
I
have a
don't know. So
cheeseburger, please?
yeah, well, I
That's
remember eating at a really nice restaurant one time and then driving through McDonald's afterwards because I was still hungry. So no, this sounds
right. There you
great.
go.
I mean, his melodic gifts are very evident. So, and I
Yeah.
love any guitar player that has the little wristband around the bridge of the guitar. They'll pull that down. That's like a old,
Well,
like,
you
funk
know what's
guitar
also
tip.
interesting, which I respect? He's playing a six string,
I
which
know.
is also
Shocker.
unusual nowadays.
Well, there you
So
go.
Good for him. Throwback.
I get tired of like the 7/8, tuned down to C thing. I don't know. And I'm not a guitar player. I'm a drummer, but I don't know. It just feels like it adds more, but it takes away more than it adds sometimes. So
Yeah.
let's go.
No,
let's go back to something
that's
like
funny.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. Number 3.
Moving on. Now, you said they signed to Inside Out, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
just
cool.
recently.
Good for them.
So moving on, this is not them, this is them. The Pineapple Thief. It leads to this. From the album, it leads to this. Actually, as we're recording this, the album is out officially. And yeah, you and I have talked about this record. We both have listened to it quite a bit and like it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's an awesome record. I love every song. It just moves me. His singing, his melodies, combined with Gavin Harrison's drumming, it just makes for such a cool vibe. I hate to compare it to Porcupine Tree, but you just can't avoid those similarities.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest, in a way, I feel like this picks up for me where Porcupine Tree left off many years ago and does it almost better than that band does now, if that makes any sense. Blasphemy,
I agree.
But
yeah. Well, this is also sort of like that last band that we're listening to. It's more direct and more melodic, and it's less deconstructed. And I kind of think that if you were going to pick apart close or continuation on any level, it's just that it feels a need to be more subtle or more askew, whereas the albums that preceded it were a little bit more direct. It's funny, I've been listening back through those albums for whatever reason the last few days, and they're great. Porcupine Tree, that is. Fear of a Blank Planet and so on, but and The Incident. This, to me, it definitely feels like if you didn't tell me, I would think it was a new Porcupine Tree album. So,
yeah,
and I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the world's biggest Porcupine Tree fan, but I dig this a lot.
Yeah. And actually, this is one of my favorite songs from it, so we can check this
Good.
out. I really like this one a lot.
Turns out Gavin's a pretty good drummer too,
He's so great, man. There's a part in this video where he's playing the simplest beat, and I'm like, that's awesome.
But it's not the half of it.
Even that, it just sounds great the way he plays it.
By your side, in the cold black center of your eye, you made your mark, a life of toil, but that's irrelevant now. All the traces worn away by the long march of your decay. So it leads to this. How could we get it so wrong? For all this time, for all this progress, for all this time, for all this progress.
I wanted to pause it there because I want to go to a different part of the song, but
It's great.
But even that, it just has such a subtle killer groove. He's very much become one of my favorite drummers. I mean, he always really kind of was.
Sure.
It's sort of like Portnoy, and then he's like right there.
Mhm.
I just think the way he plays drums is awesome and so musical. And he really helps co-write a lot of the stuff. And so I think that really is what stands out. But there's the part here towards the end with when the guitar kicks in. I don't know if you remember this part, but it's just so awesome. I mean, this sounds like Porcupine Tree. That goes on for a little bit, but it really builds up and is awesome.
So Bruce, kind of like the lead guy here, he had that
Yeah.
album last year too, the solo album that we thought was great.
Yeah, Luminescence.
Yeah. How long? I gotta read up on my Pineapple Thief history because I know they've had a few albums. I have never found myself getting really into them.
Pineapple, this is their 25th year. I know this because I just spoke
Jeez,
to
okay.
Bruce but for the first 20 years, maybe
Yeah.
around something like that. No, sorry, about 15, 16 years. It was Bruce Sword's thing, and they had a little
Yeah.
bit of a different sound, similar, but sometimes more a bit electronica involved, and obviously missing the Gavin Harrison drumming style, which just changes your music the same way it changed Porcupine Tree. But then he joined. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth, maybe fifth record.
Yeah.
2018's Disillusion was where he became like a full-time member, and that's when it really changed for me. And that album may still be my favorite, although this one is creeping up there. But yeah, I mean, if it's daunting because they have a lot of records and they go back a ways. But if you like this, I mean, just check the last 3, 4, 5 records back with Gavin playing, and that's a good
Yeah.
chunk of their music, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I feel like somehow I've missed it or overlooked it. I don't know if it's the name or what it is, but I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of Riverside, who I also really like.
They're in that family. Yeah.
Yeah, very straight ahead, very like bass guitar driven, simple
You know,
stuff.
the lyrics,
You said it.
lyrics have meaning, and you know, if you like that sort of thing, which is really cool. It's just really great stuff. A contender for album of the year for me early on, I think.
Well, it's my favorite album so far. I mean, I've been listening to it, I guess, now for the last few weeks, and it's the one that I keep finding myself going back to. And that's largely why I was like, I'm going to re-listen through the Porcupine Tree discography because I kept listening to this so much. So, yeah, it's a good one.
All right, last one is going to be Big Train.
Big Dre. Yeah.
New single that just came out called Love is the Light. If you have had a chance to listen to this song, you know, maybe you feel the same about it as I do, but this may be my favorite song of the year right now, and it might
Wow.
be for a while. It's not the proggiest thing in the world. It's basically just a ballad, but I just think it's the most greatest thing. I can't help
Yeah.
it. I think this song is just amazing. It was written by Alberto, the new singer,
Okay.
with some slight help from Greg, the bass player, the original bass player, and yeah, he brought this to the band, and they decided to use it, and he wrote quite a few songs on the album. He turns out to be really integral part of the new lineup, and good for him. One of the
awesome.
nicest people you'll get to speak to, also. And we just had an interview with him and Greg that I should be out by the time this airs. And yeah, I think this is a great album. If you like Big Train, you know, they did the band justice. I think we covered the last single, Miramare, on the last episode we did. That's the proggy song that is really great. This is just a bit more straightforward and ballady, but just awesome. And I think it's magnificent. So let's check this out a little bit.
Sweet.
Crashing and crushing, I don't know what to do. I know I may fall once again.
He's using our mic.
Maybe I'm gonna break. Maybe I'm calling time. In my mind, it's like I'm fading away.
I have to keep it going because it gets to this one part. That's my favorite part. So
I could be washed ashore or further out at sea.
I was gonna say I heard Nick's
I'm
voice.
looking for a
Right.
way that leads me home.
He's the best background vocalist there is.
Drifting and drowning, all but out of reach. I'm a victim of my own design.
Oh,
Love is the light, hiding in the corner of my eye. Love is your smile.
all right. So now comes my favorite part.
You in a broken way.
I love that. That part gets me every time.
It's so hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
When that break and the whoa whoa thing comes in, I just think it's awesome. It's such a goosebump moment.
Is
But I want to
this the
skip
most
a little bit to
mellow
the end.
episode of the Prog Report ever? This is
Is
all
it?
like
It's our soft side.
the mellow
um,
moods of the Prog
Hold
Report
on. Wait, let's
on
get to the
NPR.
end.
It's the light, hiding in the corner of my eye. Love is the
Come on, you can't beat a good yell at the end of a song. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sorry,
You're not
maybe a
gonna-
bit
you're not-
mellow, but
No,
got
no,
to-
no. I
it
didn't mean
just-
that
it's just
in
awesome.
a
I think
bad
it's just
way.
great.
It's just we started out with, I mean, very mellow. We picked it
Yeah.
up with the instrumental, but a couple just groove-based sort of mellow tunes. That's a good song.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear a lot of violin with what is that? I don't know, trumpet maybe that was playing. That's the one thing about this band. They really do approach their orchestrations differently than, dare I say, any other band in Prague, at least on that level of
it's
kind of
intricate,
popularity.
integral to the music. I mean, when they play in Europe, they bring like a 4 or 5 piece, string quartet, and with the horn section, it's part of what they do, and that's what sets them apart. Yeah, it's great. I mean, for me, this band is all about the emotional connection with the music. That's
Yeah.
what I get out of it. I think that's what they try to get you to get out of it. That's where it is. And also this album has a bit more of a personal nature for their own writing as they've talked about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's cool. And again, I think it continues to show the diversity, right? I mean, last time we were a bit more metal, Whom Gods Destroy and stuff like that. By the way, Whom Gods Destroy did have a new single out around this time called Over Again. But I think we'll cover another song from theirs probably down the line. So
here's a good idea for a trivia game that you could play for Prog Report listeners is something to do with Big Train band members over the years. I'm wearing my Spinal Tap shirt, and
it's impossible. There's
their list
so
of
many.
drummers it's insane. There's an entire
Yeah.
Wikipedia page, and it's got to be 40 to 45 people.
Yeah,
It's
there's so
wild.
many. Yeah. Other cool things that came out recently. So Trevor Rabin released a demo of the song "Fragile," which was it's on the bonus disc of the Rio album that was out last year. And for people that don't know, that song was recorded. There's a version of it that's recorded with Rick Wakeman and John Anderson, and that was gonna be on the ARW album that was maybe gonna get made at some point. And
Wow.
then it got played on radio one day, and so it's out there, that version, and then nothing ever happened. It was never officially released, and that album obviously never came out, and that band never did anything else. So Trevor included his original version, the demo version, on that, and it's out now on YouTube, and it's actually a really nice version too. What else are you listening to? Anything that we need to know about?
Pineapple Thief is what I keep coming back to. I've been listening to the Big Big Train. I've been working on listening through the Pink Floyd discography and now the Porcupine Tree discography, for whatever that's worth.
Good
I
stuff.
was listening to the new Steve Hackett. You know, I'm disappointed. He was supposed to be coming to Memphis. I had tickets right on the front, and then he canceled it. So I feel silly.
Yeah, that's a
listening to
great
his
album. The
now,
new Steve
but
Hackett album, Circus and Night,
it
was
is.
really, really good. Worth checking out.
Mhm.
He's still awesome. And yeah. Cool. All right. So that's this month's edition. And if you like this, please let us know. If you think we should cover other songs, some songs we missed, some songs you like, don't like, please leave it in the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on wherever you get your podcasts, progreport.com and all that stuff. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on all our socials and on progreport.com for all your news, interviews, reviews, and more. And we'll see you again real soon. Thanks.